So welcome everyone to the Up Convergence and the Co-Creators Convergence. This week, the theme is peace and unity. That's what the Up stands for, unity and peace. So right now I have with me a very bright shining star, a very bright light. Her name is Caroline Chang. And Caroline, welcome. First,
Thank you, Noelle. Thank you so much for inviting me. I've been having a wonderful time all week. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am honored. Yes. So I am Caroline Chang, host and producer of Awake to Oneness Radio. And I'd like to share a presentation entitled Unity Within Diversity. So I will be sharing with you a PowerPoint. So let me go to my share. Oh, yes, shared screen here. Let's see. I want to make sure it's sharing in full screen, so I will click on this. Okay, there we go. Unity within diversity. Year 2020 is the year of clear vision. Very important year we are in, and actually towards the end. Okay, so I want to share a few things that I'm not sure if you've seen my other presentation, but a few important points from my other presentation is my awakening moment, which was in 2007. That is when I watched the film entitled What the Bleep. Noelle, I think you might have to mute yourself, I think. Okay, I'm hearing something. Yes, thank you, Noelle. Okay. In the film, What the Bleep was a film on quantum physics, about quantum physics. And in that film, there was Lynn McTaggart. She is a journalist, and she does study a lot about science. She studies a lot about quantum physics. And she said the biggest problem in the world today is the illusion of separation. Now, when she made that statement, something inside of me woke up. It wasn't an intellectual knowing. It was a heart and soul awakening. It was a heart and soul knowing that that simple statement was true, that all of our problems as humanity stems from the fact that we think we are separate when we are not. And it has been proven time and time again. Science has proven it. Ancient wisdom has been speaking of oneness. Spirituality has been speaking about oneness for eons. This is not new knowledge, but this is something we as a collective have to awaken to the truth of oneness. Because once we do that, that will solve all of our problems. Okay, awakening is knowing who you truly are. So many people will ask me, well, what is awakening? Awakening is knowing that you are a sovereign divine being of light. You have a body, but you are not your body, just like you have a car and you're not your car. So you have a body, but the essence of who you are is a sovereign divine being of light. Now, who we are on a deeper, I want to share this because we are not just sovereign divine beings of light. We are sovereign divine, unique, holographic, multidimensional beings of light. Now that's a mouthful, but each one of those words have a very important meaning. And on this slide, I have two graphics to indicate holographic. One of my favorite quotes is a Rumi quote, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." And what that means is that we are all of God, not just a piece of God. Each one of us is all of God in a drop. Just like the cells, we have trillions and trillions of cells in our body. And a person can take a microscopic cell from your body and clone you, because all of you is in that microscopic cell. Just like we are all cells of God, all that is, source, universe, whatever term you want to use for all that is. My term is all that is. We are cells of all that is. Holographic cells, that means all of God is within each of us. Okay, science has proven that everything is energy, the same energy. Everything is the same. That's important. Everything is the same energy vibrating at different frequencies. So high vibration is something that unifies us. A low vibration is something okay. Can you hear me now? Something happened. Okay, because the PowerPoint. That's okay. I'll go back to sharing the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. I'm going to share PowerPoint and go back to sharing full screen. Okay, there we are. That's where we were. Okay, science has proven that everything is the same energy vibrating at different frequencies. So it's important that we understand that a high vibration, high frequency indicates it's a unifying, is love. Love is the highest frequency. There is unconditional love. That's the highest frequency. Now, fear and hate are very low frequencies. So, and they divide us. High frequency unifies us, brings us together. Low frequencies tear us apart or separate, try to separate us, because in truth, we cannot be separated. Okay. And what we experience as divine souls, we are creating from our core vibration. So when you want to experience something joyous, you want to be vibrating at that high frequency. If you're vibrating at a low frequency of fear and hate, you're going to experience something that is not pleasant, something that you really don't want to experience. We create our reality. What we create our reality from our core frequency, our core vibration. Now, I was taught in 7th grade when I studied molecules that nothing is truly solid. So science has proven that we do not live in a solid world. Our world is energy, and it's made of form, and that is created from vibration. So like I was saying before, love is the highest vibration. So when you're vibrating, your core vibration is that of love, you're going to create your reality from that core vibration of love and experience heaven on earth. Now, it's your choice as a divine, sovereign, divine being, what you vibrate at. So you can choose to vibrate from a core vibration of fear. And if you do choose to vibrate at that core vibration, the reality that you are going to experience is going to be that coming from a fear vibration. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. I believe that fear is not real. It is a state of being, but it isn't real. Love is truly the only real state of being, because that is the essence of who we are, is love. So remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. Infinite love is the only truth, is the only ultimate truth. is infinite love. Everything else is an illusion. Now, when I say, I know spiritual people get a bad rap when they say everything is an illusion, but it is. Everything is a dream. It's a dream of your own creation. Now, I never said it wasn't an important dream. I never said it wasn't an important illusion. It is important, but it isn't real. It's important because we are creating it as sovereign beings for our soul's evolution. So that's important. But it is just a dream, a play, a movie of your own creation. And when you own that and you don't like the movie that you're experiencing or the dream that you're experiencing, you have the power in every now moment to change it. You hold all the power. You can create heaven on earth right here, right now, or you can create hell on earth right here, right now. It is your choice. You are a sovereign, divine being of light, creating your reality. The truth of universal oneness. Now, it was my understanding of oneness from a heart and soul level that changed my entire life. I love this graphic because it's the world shaped as an eye. When you look into someone else's eyes and all you see is God as a reflection of you, that is when you know universal oneness. That is when you live. That is when you live universal oneness. So it doesn't matter if that other person that seems to be separate, who is not separate from God, source, all that is, not separate from you. Doesn't matter their belief system. It doesn't matter that you don't agree on one thing. They are still an aspect of God playing a role in this play, in this dream of our own creation. Nothing is separate from you. Nothing in the universe is separate from you. You are a holographic aspect of all that is. So not just planet Earth. Nothing in the universe is separate from you. You are a cell of source. And when you know that, not just believe it, but know that in your heart and soul, you live your life from that knowing. Your body is just the vehicle. Now, I thought about this yesterday because I was trying to figure out how many different cars have I owned in my lifetime. And I had got my first car when I was 17. And I thought about it. I've had 9 cars throughout my lifetime. And they've all been different colors, all been different makes, different models, different sizes, different colors. And all my body is a vehicle because I have lived hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes. This I know. It's not a belief, it's a knowing. I know I've lived hundreds of lifetimes and I have chosen a different vehicle, like I've chosen different cars throughout this lifetime. I have chosen a different body for each of those life experiences. So I do not identify with the body as me. I identify with my body as a vehicle to get around in this 3-dimensional realm that we're in. And so I take care of it just like I would take care of my car. I want my car to get me from point A to point B. I have to take care of it. So I take care of my body because I want it to stay with me to get me around in this realm. So, but it is not me. I don't identify with labels. I don't identify with anything of this 3rd dimension that I know is just a dream of my own creation. Okay, when we look at cat, I love animals. I'm not a cat person though. There are a lot of stray cats that live around me, and I always say to them, they can live on my deck. I see stray cats on my deck, under my deck all the time. And I tell them, as long as you keep the mice out of my house, you're more than welcome to hang out on my deck. And I have a neighbor who is a cat person. But when we look at cats, look at those adorable cats. When we look at cats, do we care what color they are? When you love cats, you love cats. It doesn't, a cat is a cat is a cat. It doesn't matter the color of the cat's fur. When we look at dogs, now dogs come in all shapes and sizes and breeds and colors. But if you love, I love dogs. I actually love little dogs. I like furry dogs. So if you love dogs, you love dogs. We do not divide dogs by the color of their fur. Okay, horses, another thing I love. I was telling Noelle how I love horses. She grew up on a farm and she had horses. So I'm jealous because I love riding horses. And now horses definitely have a personality. I know from riding that a horse has its own unique personality. Now, I've been on a horse that will throw me off the second I get on her or him. And then I have a horse that's like, okay, you can stay on top of me. It doesn't bother me, you know. So a horse does have a personality, but we don't choose a horse by their color. We'll choose a horse by their temperament, but not by the color of their fur. Like I said, I love horses. And again, we do not divide horses into color. We don't divide any animal by color. So why do we divide human beings by the color of their skin? I have no idea why we do that. But moving on. Okay, again, I was saying that our body is a car, is a car to get around. That is what our body is. It's a vehicle. And I've had 9 different vehicles in my lifetime, all different colors. So, and I know I've lived lives, many lifetimes, all in all different color bodies. I know this. It's not a belief, it's a knowing. Okay, so all of us are equal. We're all equal and we're all needed. So I don't know why humanity looks at color at all. Just like we don't look at the color of a cat or a horse or a dog, we don't divide any animal on the planet by color. So I don't know why we as a society divide people by color. Again, I said unique holographic aspect of God, all that is. No 2 snowflakes are alike. Just like no 2 human beings are the same. We are unique. We are unique aspects and we have unique perspectives. All 7.5 billion people on the planet is a unique aspect and perspective of God. No matter what, and it's not about agreeing, it's about knowing who we are and knowing who they are. Even if they don't know who they are, you as an awakened person know who they are. So we don't have to impose our knowing or our beliefs onto another person. We can share. We share in love and light and allow another to share and love and light. And at the end of the conversation, you don't have to agree. Now, when people, especially in the past 6 months on social media, when people feel the need to debate, and I've heard people say that to me, well, I'm just debating. And I'll say, I'm not. I'm not going to debate anybody. I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight. Because when you do that, you're imposing, you're trying to impose your unique perspective onto someone else. When you can agree to disagree in love and peace and still be loving and respectful at the end of the conversation, then you are awake. But if you feel the need to impose upon another person your perspective and your beliefs, then you're not. You're still very much asleep because you're not honoring that person for who they are. You do not have to agree with a person to honor them for who they truly are as a sovereign divine being of light. All of us are needed equally because we all have a piece of the puzzle. Without a unique piece of the puzzle, without all of us, we could not make the whole. You need all of the puzzle pieces to come together to make the whole. All of the unique puzzle pieces to come together to make the whole. That's why unity within diversity means not just honoring each other for the things we have in common, but to honor our differences. We don't have to agree to honor another person and allow them their unique perspective. The best way to show love is to honor a person for exactly who they truly are. This is my favorite symbol of oneness, because this symbol, yin yang symbol, I think I said it correctly, is equally light and equally dark. And here, as spiritual people, we tend to want to just focus on the light and love, which is great. It is great to focus on love and light, but not to push away what is the shadow side of us, because individually we all have a shadow side, and collectively humanity has a shadow side. And it's not about trying to push away the shadow side, because the shadow side is an integral part of who we are. And this reality that we're in now is a dualistic reality, and you cannot have one without the other. They are one. So when we stop judging the shadow and stop pushing the shadow, then the shadow can transform back to light, because we all are of the light. And to transform the shadow is allowing it to transform, not pushing it away. Humanity's Mask Awakening 2020, the year 2020. The year 2020 is the year of clear vision. And I have been saying this because this message came to me in the fall of last year. So September of 2019, I have been saying 2020 is the year of clear vision. And it's no coincidence that when you go to the eye doctor and the eye doctor says you have 20/20 vision, that means you have clear vision, you have clear sight. 20/20 means clear soul sight. There's no coincidences. So this is the year that humanity has begun its mass awakening. It began in March of this year. I got clear notification from spirit, from higher self, that the mass awakening has begun. Okay, in our news media, they are trying to put us in a state of fear. I don't think anybody that watches news, which I am not one, I stopped watching news 19 years ago. That was a directive from my higher self. My higher self told me a few weeks after 9/11 in 2001 to turn off the news and never turn it back on. Nobody told me that. That was an inner knowing from my higher self. And I was obedient. I didn't even know at the time. In 2001, I wasn't awakened to oneness. I wasn't awakened to who I truly am in 2001, but I was obedient to my higher self, because my higher So basically, from the inside, yelled at me, turn off that news and don't ever turn it back on. And I even said aloud, why? I didn't get an answer. I didn't get my answer till 11 years later. It's September of 2012 is when I got my answer. And I understood the reason my higher self said turn off the news, because all the news was trying to do is put me in a state of fear and lower my frequency. I talked about frequency. I talked about the high frequency of love. I talked about the low frequency of fear and hate and anger, all those low frequencies. That is what creates your experience. That is what creates your reality, your core frequency. And the news media knows to keep you in a state of fear is keeping you in their control. You hand over your power, your infinite divine power as a sovereign being of light. The only way you give away that power is when you're in a state of fear. And that is what the news media has been doing. And it has been doing it in overdrive the last 6 months. Now, it's been doing it all the time, but it has been doing it in overdrive the last 6 months. And all I can tell you is that what the mainstream news media is showing you is a very narrow perspective to keep you in a state of fear. Now, peaceful protest versus riot. This is a picture from the Commitment March in a few weeks ago in DC. Now, my dear friend Noelle attended this march, and I heard her say that it was a very peaceful march in Washington, DC. Yet, on the mainstream news, all it reported was something that happened after the march that was, of course, not peaceful. So that's all the news focused on. It didn't focus on the peaceful protest. It tried to look, it went out of its way to find something negative and fearful to show on mainstream news. That's all it does. It doesn't, and it's also, I was told by a neighbor, because again, I don't watch the news, and I'm very proud of that fact, but I was told by a neighbor that the mainstream news is actually trying to equate peaceful protests with riots. Okay, people, we know a peaceful protest is not a riot. They're two totally opposite ends of the spectrum. Okay, so don't allow the mainstream news to let you think peaceful protests are riots, because they are not. And you're not going to see, there's hundreds of peaceful protests happening all over the world, and you're not going to see that on mainstream news. Actually, that is my next slide. Okay, the masses are waking up with peaceful protests all over the world. And if you only watch mainstream news, you may not know this bit of information. There have been peaceful protests in Berlin, in the UK, in Canada. I'm trying to think of all the other places. Ireland, and DC. All over the world. Look at these pictures. These pictures were just taken in the past month, where all these people are coming together for peace, for freedom, for love and unity. I don't know if you can see up in the right-hand corner, there's a woman, in that picture is from Dublin. There's a woman in Dublin holding up a sign, "We are one." The masses are waking up, and you will not see this on mainstream news. Okay? Unity is upon us, and we are waking up to the fact that we are one. The 99% want peace. There has been nothing but war for eons and eons, but we don't want war. We want peace. And the 99% are waking up and saying, no, we want peace, and we are in control. It's the 99% that are in control, not the 1%, not the government. I love, there's President Dwight D. Eisenhower said, the people of the world want peace, and eventually the governments of the world are going to have to give it to them. I should have had that quote in here from Eisenhower. I actually had Laura Eisenhower, Dwight, great granddaughter on my show twice. So yes, the world, 99% of the world wants peace. And the governments have been keeping us in a state of war. But it's the masses are waking up and saying no more. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And you will see it if you turn off that mainstream news. Okay. Okay. All lives matter equally. Someone sent me this picture on Facebook and I love it. When I first heard the term Black Lives Matter, and that had to be the summer of 2016 or 2017. I know it was in the summer. I can't remember which summer, a few years ago. But when I first heard that term, Black Lives Matter, I shook my head and my inner spirit said, all lives matter equally, period. There's no, I actually, just 2 days ago, I read on Facebook where someone posted, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. I thoroughly disagree with. To me, that statement is not logical. It makes no sense to me. All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. That means Black lives are more important than all lives. Not in my playbook, not in my opinion. Okay, all lives matter equally, period. To say anything else is division. To say anything else is separation. To say anything else is saying that Black is separate than white and white is separate than Black, and there is no such thing. We are all one. All lives matter equally, period. Okay, and I love this. I love this picture of this beautiful family. World Unity Week was a few weeks ago. It was the end of June, and that's where I first met Noel and Bob. I was invited to speak at World Unity Week a few weeks ago with my dear friend, Mary Reed. It was, and I'm so glad because she contacted me with Noel and Bob, and I got to be now, and I got to speak and share here for conversions. And I'm so grateful because this is, I feel like I'm coming home. I feel like I'm not alone anymore. Standing up for unity, oneness, peace, love, unconditional love. For sometimes I felt like for the past 6 years, I was doing this by myself. And now I have been brought home to a family that is on the same vibration of unconditional love, unity, peace, and oneness. So a few weeks ago was the World Unity Week, which I'm sure you didn't see on mainstream news. Okay, all perspectives are valid. So you see here, I have a symbol of all the different world religions. And they all, at the core of all religions, is the truth, the law of one, the truth of oneness, the truth that we are all connected and we can never be disconnected. We can think that we're disconnected, but in truth, we can't be disconnected. The true vibration, the core vibration is love, unconditional acceptance, unconditional forgiveness, unconditional non-judgment of another. And when we know this truth, we know who we are as one, and we will come together for world peace. And it will happen in our lifetime. This I know. Okay, we are mind, body, and soul, mainly soul. We are soul, an infinite divine being soul with a mind and with a body. And I am so happy, happy, happy to share this with you. And all of you here do know this. Okay, I'm looking outside. I'm actually having a new dryer delivered, and I'm so glad I'm down to the last slide because they're about to knock on my door to deliver my new dryer. But Spirit has told me for this year, I get the message as to what the coming year is going to be. 2021 is the year of unity, and I already see that happening. I see that happening right now in this now moment. Let's just keep our vibration on unconditional love, oneness, peace, and unity. We'll keep coming together. We'll keep having these events all over the world, and all is great. Like